Hey everyone, Pixels here, and in today's video I am giving you my solo queue tier list on Evil Dead the game. So I'm going to be judging them on how well they do in solo queue. I've played, solo queue with every single character here, and so I kind of know which ones do well and which ones don't do so well in solo queue. So let's begin anyway. So the first one that we're going to go for is Pablo. Now, Pablo is great in solo queue because he can stay hidden from the demon. Unfortunately, if Pablo dies and comes back to life, the demon actually knows where he is all the time on the map, which is, I think, is a bug right now. But Pablo's actually really good. You can actually speedrun objectives with him as well if you do decide to choose to do that. So I'm going to put him in A tier. I think it's a solid choice for him. He's a good support, and like I said, he's great for hiding from the demon as well. So he's a really solid choice for solo queue play as a support character. He does have decent defense as well. Obviously, spawning amulets and stuff can be really, sort of tough to kill as well against the demon. So yeah, he's a great solo queue character, so I'm putting him in A tier. Okay, so for the next one, Leader Ash. Leader Ash is probably one of my most played characters in the game, with him being one of my mains. So I played a lot of solo queue games with him. Some of them go really well, some of them go really bad, but I feel like he belongs in A tier purely because once you get the, the pink fuck, the stamina for the 3 dodges, not only that, but he's really hard to possess, so he's good for that as well. But being caught out in the open 1v1 against a demon, he will struggle in some cases, but with his ability, he's actually really good for breaking balance bars as well. So a solid Leader Ash player will actually do pretty well in solo queue, and I will put him in A tier. Mainly because the way I play him, I tend to stick with my warriors and my supports the best I can, and that way it actually really helps him out. So especially sticking with warriors because it gives him the damage boost, and also gives the warriors the damage boost as well. Not only that, but he also has the fear resistance, which is really nice too. So he is a good solo queue survivor. The next one, Annie. Annie, I'm going to put in B tier. I don't think she's amazing for solo queue purely because, she's very based on ranged and, hunters and stuff like that. But found solo, Annie's probably going to go down relatively fast as well. So I'm definitely feeling like she belongs in B tier. Lord Arthur, I'm going to put straight into D tier. He's probably the worst solo queue survivor in the game, purely because he only really has, if he's 1v1 with a demon or something, then his own damage buff isn't really going to be enough to help him survive. But not only that, he also suffers without having warriors on the team too. So unless he's around a warrior, he's really vulnerable, and he's really hard to play in solo queue. But yeah, I'd say he's the worst solo queue survivor in my opinion. So Army Darkness Ash, I'm going to put him in S tier. I think he's one of the best solo queue carrying survivors in the game, if not the best. It's a tough decision between him and another 2 survivors, but I think he belongs in S tier, definitely. It's just spamming iframes and stuff like that can actually just win games all the time with this dude. He's really good, and not only that, but regenerating his shield. And if you go for the cooldown on his build with his potion, that's really helpful as well. It can almost make him unkillable and really strong in solo queue, so I think he belongs there. Scotty, I'm going to put him in B tier. So with Scotty, he's primarily damage, and the reason I'm putting him in B tier is because he is solely damage, and he doesn't really have much health. He's quite easy to take down in solo queue, especially when I've been playing Demon recently. I found that, if I find a Scotty early on, he's pretty easy to kill and a down, so I think he belongs in B tier just because he doesn't really have a great defense against the demon compared to the other survivors. So the next one, Henry the Red, is going to go in S tier as well. Again, he's a really strong solo queue survivor. He's a really strong 1v1 survivor. He has his ability. Obviously, can be triggered very often, every 60 seconds, every 54 seconds if he has the cooldown as well. Not only that, but, if you have the full tank build on him, again, he can almost be unkillable. And, doing balance bar damage with this guy, if you do a balance bar build, he will just stun lock everything too. So, I think he belongs in S tier as well. The next one is Hunter Ash. Hunter Ash, I'm going to put in S tier as well. He is a really strong solo queue survivor. I actually think he might be on par with Army Darkness Ash. Maybe in my opinion, I think he's slightly a bit stronger than him, just because of the exorcism ability. And not only that, but he does spawn with his double barrel as well. So, if you are found early on with this guy, the chances are that you are gonna obviously have the tools to deal with the demon with his ability and with his ranged weapon. And on top of that, if you spec him right with the fear reductions and stuff, then, or the fear resistance, sorry, if you spec him right with that, he's going to be really hard to possess. A lot of people need to learn to play this guy correctly, because I've played solo queue games where this guy gets possessed all the time and just kills the team. But Yeah, people really need to adjust this guy's fear levels and really work out the best way to play him. I do have a few builds on my channel on what you should be really running with this guy, and I probably will do a solo queue build. But yeah, if I'm playing solo queue, I tend to find myself playing Army Darkness Ash and Evil Dead 2 Ash the most, because I feel like they're the really hard carrying survivors in solo queue. And not only that, but he has his chest ability as well. You know, hunting down chests, getting the pink folk early on, getting your stamina maxed out as well is very key on hunters. So again, he has all the tools at his disposal there to really be strong at early game, and then late game as well. You can find better weapons and stuff through the chests. So yeah, definitely an S tier survivor for me. Ed, I'm gonna put in probably his A tier because he's a hunter. Hunters tend to do really well in solo queue. Like I said, if you spec them right with fear and stuff, they can be really strong, especially the stamina, and they can be the most clutch survivors in the game. So I'm going to put him in A tier. Not only that, you know, better chests. You know, if you find a crossbow, this guy's pretty strong with the crossbow. And not only that, but he can also drop extra items for everyone with, you know, every unit killed. So that's also good. The next one, Kelly. Again, Kelly, I'm going to put in A tier. She's a hunter. Hunters, for me, are probably the best solo queue survivors. Not the best solo queue survivors, but they're very strong in solo queue, sorry, because of their stamina. And, you know, stamina probably needs nerfed pretty heavily on hunters. But, you know, if hunters are played correctly, and, you know, if you are actually good at the game as a hunter, then you will be, you know, a pretty solid solo queue survivor. So again, I'd probably lean towards Kelly with that. Amanda's a bit of a difficult one because she requires, I would say, the blunderbuss. But again, she's a hunter, so I'm going to put her in A tier. I know I have a lot in A tier, but hunters obviously just make sense being there because of their stamina. And if people have, you know, max stamina on them, max fear resistance, and they're probably going to win the game or be close to winning the game because they're just really strong right now. And, you know, I absolutely despise hunters in the game at the moment. I just don't think they're great at all. Evil Dead 1 Ash is pretty brutal in solo queue if people aren't sticking next to him, so I'm going to put him in C tier. He can kind of sustain himself a little bit with the heavy combats and stuff, but it's not taken away from how strong the character is. It's more so he kind of has to rely on his team to be around him to help out. So I would say put him in C tier. And again, with Cheryl, I'm going to put her in C tier. I know she's a really strong support character, but playing her in solo queue can be pretty rough as well. Again, if you play support correctly, yes, you can sit next to your warriors, find your warriors, but most of the time in solo queue, people tend to run off. They don't protect their supports and stuff like that. So being, you know, those two support characters where they can't really stay hidden from the demon, unlike Pablo can, then it obviously makes sense to put them in C tier. So yeah, guys, this has been my solo queue tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you found it helpful as well for what characters to select in solo queue and who you should relatively be playing and looking to play in solo queue. Like I said, it's based on my experiences and who I've been playing the most in solo queue and stuff like that, and how well I've done with them. Like I said, I've really struggled with Lord Arthur in solo queue. Nobody tends to stay next to him, especially if you don't really have any warriors on the team. He can be kind of useless. But like I said, for the best leader, obviously El Jefe is amazing in solo queue. I've played a lot of solo queue games of him, not only just for damage, but, you know, testing different builds out and stuff. But yeah, it's great. But yeah, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of the tier list, who you guys would put in certain areas as well in the solo queue game. Obviously, I know these tier list videos, you know, it can get pretty toxic sometimes in the comments. I know people like say, oh, you're stupid for putting this in there. I don't want to hear anything like that. I don't want to hear any name calling and stuff. I just want to know your guys' opinion, and, you know, without obviously deflating mine or anything like that. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed this tier list video. I will be doing some more tier list videos in the future of this game, especially when we're getting some more new survivors added to the game too, which is going to be awesome. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave me a like, leave me a comment, hit that sub button if you are new to the channel. I do stream this game Monday to Thursday on this channel as well. I do a lot of content for Evil Dead. I'm trying to keep this game afloat right now. There's not a lot of content and a lot happening in the game, but I'm trying to keep people still hyped up around the game and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Pixels, you're my awesome viewers. I'll catch you guys in the next one.